I always knew I was adopted. My parents they never kept it a secret. They were just open about it. When we would meet people, they would just be openly in front of me, say, you know, we adopted our daughters from Guatemala, we adopted our boys from Russia. We all felt like we were blood related. We never saw adoption as a bad thing. So when I first saw those two lines, very bright, staring back at me, and I was terrified. I think terrified is the best word I could use. I felt like my life was over. I'm not ready to be a mother. I'm gonna be a horrible mother. You know, everyone's gonna look at me differently. I'm gonna have to go through this alone. There was a big fear with the father of the baby because that relationship had recently ended and it was not a pretty end. I was afraid of not being able to put food on the table or diapers on the baby or provide good living conditions for the baby. A couple hours after I had found out I was pregnant, my mom sat next to me and told me about a local pregnancy center that she remembered from our church. And she told me it was called Open Arms Real Choices Clinic.
I remember Allie walked in, and like so many women that we see here, she was very, very nervous, and I could tell she was overwhelmed and lost and just needed a place to sit down and breathe.
I remember walking in and everyone being so kind, and then meeting Vicki for the first time, and she was just amazing. She just gave me a big hug and told me everything was going to be okay.
To be honest, I thought she was a little bit unique because one of the first things she said was abortion's off the table. And for most of the women that come in to see us, that's what they're looking for.
I remember telling them I was not going to have an abortion, and I wanted to either talk about parenting or adoption.
Her dilemma was, you know, I can't have this baby, but I can't have an abortion. What am I going to do? And she said, I know that adoption is a positive option because I'm adopted. She said, I want my baby to have a father and a mother and to provide a good life for the baby that I know I can't provide.
Vicki definitely showed how much she cared about me because I was a hard time for me and I couldn't find an adoption agency that met my needs or seemed to care about me. They just kind of wanted the baby. They didn't care about me. They weren't gonna help me financially. They only asked me the 3 simple questions. Are you on drugs? When are you due? And is it a boy or a girl? Okay, we'll contact you in a month or 2. And so I had given up at that point, and I had just kind of fallen into a depression. But then Vicki called me saying that she found a place.
I knew of this adoption agency that had this birth mother advocate program that could help her with her finances, and they had said, you know, we can help her with her medical bills, we can help her with her needs while she's pregnant.
It was heartbreaking, but also it brought me a lot of peace and a lot of comfort knowing that I was going to give my baby the best shot at life. I knew that he was going to be okay. I knew that he was going to be so loved, especially with a family that couldn't have children of their own but longed for one, how my parents were.
I've been just so incredibly moved watching the transition in Allie's life from that scared little gal that came in not knowing what she was going to do to an empowered young woman now who chose life for her precious son and gets to see him when she wants to. And now she has gone so far as to even help other moms. I mean, she's working with this adoption agency as a birth mother advocate so she can walk alongside moms.
I never went through it alone through Open Arms. I always had someone to talk to. I always had someone there. If I needed to talk, I would come into the building and talk to Vicki.
When women come through our doors, they're looking for hope. They may be lost or confused or scared or overwhelmed, so they come looking for hope. And we give them love, unconditional love. We listen to them. We find out what their needs are. We help them. And then the result of that is life and the future. Allie's little guy has a bright future now. He's got a mommy and a daddy that are going to take good care of him and raise him up, but yet she gets to be a part of it.
Open Arms gave me hope so I could give my baby a future.